How do you defend against a guy like that?
You look up and you say, please help me.
Imagine having Thierry Henry's elegance, R9's explosiveness, and Usain Bolt's speed all in one player. That was 2022 Kylian Mbappé, a footballer so unstoppable that he made the World Cup look like a video game. He broke records, terrorized defenses, and nearly won France the biggest trophy in football by himself.
I've done many things, but I'm still young and I want to do more.
If there was ever a real-life cheat code, it was this version of Mbappé. But was it the greatest peak we've ever seen since prime Messi and Ronaldo? Let's break it down. By 2022, Kylian Mbappé had already won a World Cup, multiple league titles, and was the undisputed superstar of PSG. But something clicked in 2022. He wasn't just fast anymore, he was clinical and dominant. He played at a level so impressive that even Thierry Henry said he was better at the same age. Henry, Arsenal's all-time top scorer and a legend of French football, had always been the benchmark for attacking brilliance. But Mbappé in 2022, he was a different beast. In 2022, Mbappé wasn't just fast, he was inevitable. Defenders knew what was coming, but they still couldn't stop it. His acceleration was so absurd that it felt like watching a sports car versus bicycles. Top speed of 36 kilometers an hour, the fastest recorded sprint in the World Cup. Could burn past elite defenders like they weren't even there, had the ability to change direction at full speed like prime Ronaldo Nazario. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as quick as Mbappé over the first 5 or 6 yards. Acceleration is the driving force behind Kylian Mbappe's game. It's what turns a simple sprint into a devastating weapon. Acceleration is more important than sprint speed for a player like Mbappé. It helps him beat defenders in tight spaces. It's not just about running fast in a straight line. It's about the explosive burst over the first 10 to 20 meters. This gives him an edge in one-on-one situations, and it allows him to make those game-changing runs between defenders. Think of a sprinter at the starting line. The athlete who gets off the blocks the fastest will have the advantage. Similarly, Mbappe's first step is lightning fast, whether he's darting past defenders in a flash or cutting inside to evade pressure. This type of quick reaction is what creates separation in tight spaces, especially when defenders have less time to react. Mbappe's speed sets him apart from other players. While many depend on longer sprints, he can accelerate at a rapid pace. This lets him create chances right away. He often disrupts defenses before they can even respond. His speed isn't just a weapon when he has the ball. It allows him to get to dangerous positions even before the pass arrives. It's an absolute nightmare for fullbacks. Without help from teammates, Mbappé can freeze you and then sprint away in an instant. As you can tell, I'm a huge fan. One of the best examples was PSG versus Real Madrid in the Champions League. Kylian Mbappé stood out at Parc des Princes. He outperformed Lionel Messi and dealt a blow to Real Madrid. Paris Saint-Germain won 1-0 in the first leg of the Champions League last 16 match. Even with all the rumors about Mbappe's future and his possible move to the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu, he focused on his work as usual. The French forward took the game to the Real Madrid defense, who did not have a moment's peace as he was constantly in and around the box. After a game in which he won a penalty, which was missed by Lionel Messi, Mbappé got his all-important goal. Mbappé weaved through Militao and Vaquez, then slotted the ball under Courtois, a moment of pure brilliance worthy of winning any game, no less than the first leg of a Champions League knockout tie. In the second leg, he scored his trademark near-post goal and produced the best offside goal I've ever seen. Even Madrid's ex-player Jorge Valdano said, "There is no defense in the world that can stop this Mbappé." If you need proof that 2022 Mbappé was a glitch in the system, just rewatch the World Cup final against Argentina. 2 goals in 97 seconds bring France back from the dead. Hat-trick in a World Cup final, the first since 1966. 8 goals in the tournament, winning the Golden Boot. But before that, he was having a stellar tournament. It was a graceful man of the match performance where he dominated from start to finish, scoring a beautiful header and assisting a goal. If there's one weakness in his game, it's his head game pause. He has absolutely no right to win this header, with 2 Australian defenders in position behind him, 1 in front, and only a small gap in between. He does win it, though, because he reacts faster than anyone else, and the timing of his jump is great. The tricky bit is judging the flight of the ball before everyone else does, and Mbappe does that perfectly. He doesn't score many headers, but he has all the tools. France likes to cross into the box, so he should get more chances like this. I want to focus on Mbappe's movement. This starts when France sends the ball down the right flank and ends when the cross comes in. Let's look at where he begins and where he ends up. He begins to attack the penalty area as Kingsley Coman receives the ball on the right-hand side, with Marcus Thuram inside him as the number 9. When Antoine Griezmann is set to cross, Mbappe and Thuram are close. Mbappe is positioned behind the Denmark fullback. This is a key spot for any forward. It also lets Mbappe attack the near post. In the image below, you can tell that Mbappe has reacted quicker than anyone else. This gives him half a yard of space from his marker to take on the cross. That half a yard is the killer instinct that all great goal scorers have, and it makes all the difference in and around the 6-yard box. Denmark are trying to hold the line and hoping that anyone who moves into the space behind them is offside. But Mbappe times his run to perfection. As a forward, your trigger to move here is when Griezmann shifts the ball out of his feet to cross. Then you're just hoping the delivery finds you. It helps when the crosser is someone of the quality like Griezmann, who is superb at whipping the ball in from open play or set pieces. This shows me that Mbappe can sniff out goals, and goals like this one means as much to me as the 25-yard shots that fly into the top corner. If you can get both, as Mbappe can, you're going to score a lot. The next game was the round of 16 versus Poland, arguably the two best finishers in the game. Mbappe versus Lewandowski. France struck first when Kylian Mbappe passed to Giroud. Giroud finished with a smart angled shot. This goal moved him past Thierry Henry's record, bringing his total to 52 goals for the national team. Mbappe scored against Szczesny with 16 minutes left. Giroud set him up well. Then Mbappe curled in a brilliant second goal, making it his 5th of the tournament. Next up, England. All the talk before the game was anti-Mbappe plan. You see, Mbappe is so scary that England manager Southgate had been preparing this plan for 2 years. Not even Messi or Ronaldo had a coach preparing a 2-year plan for them. For the most part, Walker kept Mbappe relatively quiet, but Mbappe deals in moments, flashes of influence, and so it was with France's opening goal. He has the ability to make a difference. Didier Deschamps had said in the build-up, even in the last game, beating Poland in the last 16, when he wasn't in his best form in comparison to the first 2 games, he was still decisive. And so he was here. While England celebrated Harry Kane's second-half equalizer, Mbappe walked back to the halfway line. He waved his teammates to follow with a dismissive flick of the wrist. He looked put out, jarred, determined. Maybe it was not a coincidence. Moments later, with the score tied at 1-1, we got the drag race we had hoped for. It was 60 yards, a level start, and no backup or support. This was the moment of the game. It was like watching a 100-meter event at the Olympics. In a France football interview last year, Mbappe said Walker is less explosive when he starts. This was in response to a question about fast opponents. He is like a tank that gains speed once launched. Mbappe explained of his experience playing against Manchester City's fullback. Maybe that's why he started and stopped the race so suddenly. It brought Walker nearly to a halt before he sped away down the wing. It was a tight, entertaining game, but France prevailed 2-1. Semi-finals. Teammates at Paris Saint-Germain and close friends off the field too, this was always going to be a fascinating contest. Prophetically, Mbappe predicted this matchup earlier in the year, when he joked that he would destroy his friend when it happened. A handshake in the tunnel and the gloves were off. Mbappe showcased immense dribbling, being able to knock it forward and chase it down, and also take intricate touches in tight zones. France faced a strong Morocco team and won. Now, they will meet Argentina in the World Cup final on Sunday. This match features Kylian Mbappe and his PSG teammate, Lionel Messi. This was a clash of titans, the best player of all time versus the best player in the world. Both nations on 2 World Cups, both players fighting for the Ballon d'Or. The world wanted to see Messi get his happily ever after. After all the heartbreak, all the drama, and all the tears, this was his moment. A World Cup final, 80,000 in the stadium, millions watching worldwide. France was dead and buried. Argentina were minutes away from victory, but then Mbappe happened. The tension is palpable in the stadium. The game looks dead and buried. France is looking for some hope. Mbappe steps up to take the penalty. He is calm and confident with the weight of his nation on his shoulders. He takes a deep breath, eyes locked onto the ball as Emiliano Martinez shifts nervously on his line. Mbappe approaches the ball with his usual focused intensity. In a fraction of a speed, he powers it into the bottom left corner, perfectly placing it out of Martinez's reach. The net ripples. The crowd explodes. It's a penalty, yes, but it's the kind of composure Mbappe has made a signature of his career. He doesn't just score, he scores with authority, showing nerves of steel. The fire was lit. Barely a minute passes, and Mbappe's back in the spotlight. The ball drops into the box from across, and the timing of Mbappe's run is something to behold. As the ball approaches, he positions himself with the grace of a second striker, already calculating the perfect strike. He meets the ball instantly, his body in perfect alignment, and with a powerful volley from the edge of the box, he sends it curling toward the top corner. Martinez is rooted, left with no chance as the ball flies past him with unreal precision. The crowd falls into a collective gasp as the ball hits the back of the net. This goal isn't just a piece of technique, it's a statement. The control Mbappe displays in mid-air is evidence of his maturity as a goal scorer. He doesn't panic, he's always in control, always thinking about the next move. His composure in this moment is what separates him from many others. This goal seemed straight out of a dream. It made everyone stop and watch in awe. In an instant, Argentina's lead was gone. In extra time, Argentina made it 3-2. It's extra time and the game has now reached a fever pitch. The score is 3-2 and Mbappe is once again in the spotlight. Another penalty is awarded to France, and once again, all eyes are on Mbappe as he prepares to take the shot. The world holds its breath as he steps up. The tension is unbearable, but Mbappe doesn't feel it. He's been here before, and the goal is always the same, to score. He cools the crowd with his smooth style. He sends Martinez the wrong way and slots the ball into the bottom right corner. With this penalty, Mbappe isn't just chasing a victory. He's already made his mark as one of the greatest. His ability to remain unfazed even in such high-pressure moments shows his true class. He doesn't just want to win the game, he wants to leave a legacy. It was a performance for the ages, not just numbers, not just goals, a moment of immortality. Then, at the last kick of the game, Mbappe magically dribbled past 3 defenders like those R9 reruns, but was denied scoring the best World Cup goal ever. What a game. The best game ever? I think so. Let us know if you disagree. The game went to pens. Both superstars scored their pens, but the French boys let Mbappe down. Argentina won the World Cup. Mbappe won the Golden Boot with 8 goals. This version of Mbappe is, for me, the scariest version of a player ever. That 40 minutes he gave us, everything he did came off. This was peak flow state. Argentina could have had 12 players, but he still would have scored. He was unstoppable, a wrecking ball. He was playing on a different frequency, outshining even Messi on the biggest stage. And let's be real, if France had won that final, Mbappe's 2022 World Cup would have gone down as the greatest individual tournament run ever. And we must not forget that he did this without Pogba, Kanté, Benzema, Nkunku, Kimpembe, Hernandez, and Maignan. Special player. Even in defeat, Mbappe proved he was the future of football. It was a performance for the ages, a World Cup final display that Messi and Ronaldo never quit managed. But was this enough to crown him the best since Messi and Ronaldo? Let's find out. This wasn't just a speed merchant. Mbappe had evolved into a complete forward, more clinical than ever. 44 goals in 2022. Link-up play improved, forming deadly partnerships at PSG. Dribbling sharper, destroying defenders in tight spaces. And here's the crazy part. At 23, he was already ahead of Thierry Henry's numbers at the same age. Even Henry himself admitted in an interview, Mbappe is rewriting the history books, and he's only getting started.
Where do you rank him amongst those greats that have played for PSG? And
I mean, it's not even a discussion.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Greatest player ever to play for
me,
PSG?
Yeah.
Okay.
But some people that saw other players will tell you, you know, that debate, obviously you would like to say that, that's my opinion. For me, Kylian Mbappé, with the way, the impact he had all over the world, what he's been doing, for me, yes, he will go down as the best player for Paris Saint-Germain. That's me.
Henry's club career with Arsenal was legendary, but when it came to big game moments for France, he often played second fiddle. In 1998 and 2000, he was a key player. But the true leader was Zidane. When France lifted trophies, Zidane was the heartbeat, the playmaker, the man who delivered when it mattered most. Then came 2002, Henry's chance to take over. Zidane was injured. The team looked to Henry to carry them, to be the leader. And what happened? France crashed out in the group stage without scoring a single goal. The weight of expectation was too much. The same thing happened in Euro 2008 when Zidane retired. Mbappe, on the other hand, was already proving he can be the main man under immense pressure. In 2018, he won the World Cup as a teenager, scoring in the final. In 2022, he didn't just perform, he delivered one of the greatest individual performances ever seen in a World Cup final. If Henry had Mbappe's mentality in 2002, could he have carried France through? We'll never know. But what we do know is that Mbappe has already surpassed him on the international stage. Now, here's where the debate gets interesting. If 2022 Mbappe was a cheat code, how does he stack up against prime Ronaldo Nazario? R9 versus Mbappe. Who was scarier? R9 had more skill and flair, his dribbling was smoother, and his ball control in tight spaces was unmatched. Mbappe had better fitness and longevity. At 23, R9 had already suffered a major knee injury. Mbappe? He was just getting started. Mbappe's World Cup final performances versus R9's 2002 final. R9 had 2 goals in the 2002 final, but did we have a hat trick? Let's settle it in the comments. Prime Mbappe versus Prime R9. Who wins? If you were on Twitter during the 2022 World Cup final, you knew football fans lost their minds. Here are some of the wildest tweets. Mbappe is playing FIFA on rookie mode while everyone else is struggling on legendary. Bro really decided to be Henry, R9, and Messi at the same time. Imagine dropping a hat trick in the final and still losing. Football is cruel. 2022, Mbappe wasn't just a great player, he was a phenomenon. He reached a level where defenses had zero answers for him. He was unlucky that PSG got knocked out of Europe early. Otherwise, he would have won the Ballon d'Or that year. Only Benzema came close to him. So here's the final question. Was 2022 Mbappe the most unstoppable player we've ever seen since prime Messi and Ronaldo? Has he already peaked? Will he get better at Real Madrid? Let me know in the comments. And if you think football will ever see another player with this explosive, you might want to think again. If you enjoyed this deep dive into 2022 Mbappe, check out our video on why Messi didn't scam a single Ballon d'Or. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.